On this episode of the Tequila Hombre, we're going to be taking a look at and doing a tasting review of Calle 23 tequilas right here on the Tequila Hombre, coming up next. Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Tequila Hombre, where today we're going to be taking a look at and doing a tasting review of Calle 23 tequila. I'm going to see if I can get your guys' comments up here on the screen right now, because I'm still working out the bugs on this software. So just give me a second. Let me see if I can bring you guys up here. It's not showing up on my screen here, and I don't know why. So I may have to bring up the... All right, you guys. All right, I can see him here, so we'll have to do it from this. All right, you guys, I'll try to work out the thing here on the comments and stuff so I can get you guys on here. I was able to figure it out last time, but I need to see what's going on. So let's talk a little bit about Calle 23 tequila. It is made by a young lady named Sophie Deckebeck, and Sophie is kind of different in that she is a biochemist. She actually learned how to make tequila while in school studying fermentation. And she was a little different in that she really worked and studied on yeast and how yeast affects fermentation, and got her degree doing that, and studied agave and really developed a love and passion for agave and tequila and agave spirits. And so she, while she was there, she did internships with distilleries and stuff, and then went to South Africa, where she worked with a distillery in South Africa on fixing some fermentation problems. But she missed Mexico and ended up coming back to Guadalajara and settling down in Guadalajara and setting up a consultancy, a group where she worked as a consultant. And she worked for a few distilleries. She actually, I didn't know this, but I was talking to Carlos Camarena, and he said that Sophie actually worked at La Alteña and was the one that brought them Excelia. So for those of you that know the Excelia brand, she brought them to La Alteña. So then while she was doing that, while she was doing the consultant stuff, she created her own tequila and didn't have a name for it, but created a really nice tequila that she was really proud of. So she was sitting in a square in Guadalajara, and she saw a street sign that said Calle 23. It's pronounced Calle. The two L's in Spanish is pronounced as a Y. So it is Calle 23 or Calle 23. So she saw the street sign and she was like, that's a really neat street sign. That's what I'm going to name my tequila. And that's how she picked the name Calle 23. It was from actual sign that she saw in a square in Guadalajara. So that's kind of the story of the brand. Let's get into the processes and how this tequila is made. So we'll take a look at that here right now. So they use the finest agave for their tequila. They make sure it's at the peak of maturity, so it has all the great sugars and stuff in it. And of course, the humidors are the ones that harvest it and get it ready for them to cook. And then they use autoclaves for cooking. And now I've gone into this a couple of times with people on autoclaves, where sometimes people have bad feelings about autoclaves, when in all reality, there's nothing wrong with using autoclaves. And this kind of shows it in that they picked the autoclave over the Horno, the brick oven, through blind tasting. They did. So they actually thought that they got more complexity and stuff by using the autoclave. So see, there you go. Autoclaves aren't so bad. So after the agaves are cooked, they then use a roller mill to extract the sugars from the agave fibers. and it is fermented in stainless steel tanks. And they use their own native yeast. And what she did is they actually isolate them from agave plants. So she actually went in on agave plants, took samples, used a microscope, isolated some strains that she liked, and she harvested and grew them and propagated them, and then used those as their yeast for producing the tequila. And from what I understand, they use a different one for the Blanco, and then when they're going to do the Repo and the Añejo, they use a different one as well to create a different flavor profile that kind of blends better with barrel aging. So then they do distillation with it. That is double distilled, and they separate the heads and tails both times. So they have very good hearts, all hearts, all pure tequila, and then they age it when they do the aging in Jack Daniel's barrels. Now, for those of you that watch the channel too, I've done a review of the Criollo, which is their limited edition tequila. You can find a description for the review in the description, a link for it in the description below. And they use special agave for that are called Criollo, which are little tiny agave, but they're just dripping in starch and sugar and sweetness and stuff. They don't get as big as the larger, and so a lot of times the farmers don't like them because they're not as heavy, so they don't get as much money from them when they sell them, because they sell agave by the kilo, so they don't get as much money from them because they're smaller. So she did the entire batch using these tinier Criollo agave, and it's a limited edition. I went too far here. It's limited edition, one of a kind. It's 49.3 ABV, and we've got the rest of what's left out here in California at Ferment and Still. So the link is in the description as well for Ferment and Still. So if you want to get some of that, we stocked up on it to make sure that our customers and you guys can still get it before it completely sells out. They also do a limited edition Añejo, a single barrel, which I'm going to work on getting some of those for Ferment and Still. And it's a beautiful, beautiful tequila as well. Now, one thing, that this tequila is woman-owned business. She's French. She comes from France. That's where she did her studying originally. And she speaks French and Spanish both. And the Calle 23 Criollo was actually done to honor her firstborn son. And that was just a one-time batch. So if you like the Criollo, if you've had it before, it's not going to be made again. That is all they're doing. So we'll go ahead and not waste any more time, and let's get into the tasting of this tequila. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I hope I can get the comments and stuff up here so I can work with them. But for some reason, it's not showing up on this. Let me see if I can get it to show up so I can see what you guys are saying. Okay, let's see if it's turning on. Oh, there we go. Okay, I got you guys now. All right, it's working. All right. All right, so taking a look at it in the glass. This is the Blanco, the regular Blanco from Calle 23. It coats the Blanco. It coats the glass nicely. It leaves pearls on the glass. You can see it. Really crystal clear. Has a nice silver tone to it. Silver sparkles in it. On the nose, looks great. Looks great in the glass. On the nose, oh, there it is. I love that. Beautiful, sweet cinnamon, fruity, cooked agave smell coming through on it. Definitely picking up some like nutmeg and sweet cinnamon. Has a nice fruitiness to it, like citrus coming through. Hints of mint in there as well. Beautiful, beautiful nose to this. And it's very crisp and clean. Just smells fantastic. All right, let's see how it tastes. Definitely has that beautiful cinnamon, sweet cinnamon cooked agave taste to it. Hints of orange blossom in there. Definitely a little anise coming through on it. a little bitterness to kind of balance things out. Picking up a little bit of vanilla in there as well. It's really nice. Sweet cinnamon, baking spices, hint of nutmeg, some anise bitterness in there. Finishes with a little cinnamon on the tongue, sweet cinnamon, some citrus in there as well. Finish is kind of a medium finish on it. No heat or burn to it at all. Very easy to sip, very easy to drink, very beautiful. I would recommend this. Let me look and see what we're selling it for on Ferment and Still. I think it's we've got it for, let's see. All right, so we are selling it for $44.99, which for $44.99 I would definitely buy this. It's highly recommended. I'd give it 4 agave. I'd give it 4 agave. So so let's take a look at the Repo. Now the difference with the Repo is that it is aged 8 months in Jack Daniel's barrels, and they use a different yeast for this, because they wanted to create a nice flavor profile for the aged expressions. So they actually use a different yeast than the Blanco. So this one coats the glass nicely. Looks beautiful on the glass. You can see the legs and tears forming on it. Looks great. Color on this one is kind of a medium to medium deep amber color to it, which looks good. Looks beautiful, crystal clear. On the nose, so it still has that beautiful sweet cinnamon notes that are coming through, but now it comes through with some really nice vanilla and hints of caramel that come through on it as well. And some light chocolate as well. It smells really good. It smells really good. All right, see. Nice viscous mouthfeel. Beautiful cinnamon and baking spices up front. Vanilla coming through, a hint of caramel, and a little bit of oaky bitterness on the end of it that kind of just finishes off, so it's not so sweet, but it's not artificially sweet. It's naturally sweet. You can tell it's not overbearing sweet at all, but it just has beautiful flavors and stuff from the agave. She did a really great job with this. It's really good. Easy sipper. I could sip this forever. I could sip this, sitting down all day long and not have it be overbearing and stuff on the palate. I recommend it. Our price on the Reposado is $48.99, which for $48.99 I definitely would buy it. It's very good. So I give this one 4 agave as well. The Repo is very good. That's a good one. All right, so new glass, and we'll take a look at the Añejo. The Añejo is 16 months in Jack Daniel's barrels. Try not to pour too much, because all right, so on the nose on this one, or actually, let's take a look at it in the glass like we always do. So looking at it in the glass, it coats the glass nicely. You can see the legs and tears forming. So it's kind of a nice viscous mouthfeel to it. Looks great. Looking at the color of it, a deeper amber color. Looks beautiful, crystal clear. Nothing wrong with that at all. Looks great. You know, we taste with our eyes and our noses, and we taste with all of our senses. I can already taste how good this is going to be. So on the nose, it's just like the Repo, but it's got a richer vanilla and caramel to it that's coming through, but you still get a little bit of that sweet cinnamon and baking spices on it. A little bit of a fruity, like plum coming through on it as well, and hint of cherry in there as well. So a little cherry and stuff coming from the barrel on that. So it smells really good. So let's see what we get on the flavor. Coats the mouth beautifully. Definitely a nice cinnamon baking spices up front, and then just a boom, a really nice vanilla that comes through with a hint of pear in there as well, and some plum, and then caramel on the finish, like a creamy caramel that kind of sits on the tongue. And I'm finding the finish to be a little bit longer on the añejo, so it's actually goes from like medium to medium long on the finish on the añejo. Añejo is very nice. We have the añejo for $59.99, and for that price, I would definitely buy this. I definitely recommend it, and I give this one also 4 agave. So there you go, 4 agave across the board for the Calle 23 Blanco, Repo, and Añejo. And I do can tell you that the Criollo has earned a 5 agave from me. Right, so it's one that I definitely enjoy, and it was my favorite high proof Blanco for a while, and then the 108 proof G4 took it over as being my favorite favorite high proof. So there you go, you guys. There's the sorry, I'm trying to take care of some stuff here. There's my review. Let's now head into our, let me see if I can get this working here, into our members and see what we got going on. All right, so let me move this over here. So Robert, yeah, you actually have made 2 sessions in a row. That's great. That's awesome. Oh, thank you, Todd. I'm glad you liked the intro. That's awesome. I'm glad you enjoy that. Hey, Shaman, how you doing? Glad you could make it today. All right, Q Coletti says we need a dancing emoji. I'll work on getting a dancing emoji. I think that'd be cool. I'm all about the dancing. Hey, Alejandro, glad you guys can make it. Hey, eFits, hello, glad you guys can make it. Hey, Q Coletti. Thank you. I guess you're talking about the Calle 23 that you love. That's cool. So any comments or questions about this this tequila? Hopefully you guys have learned a little bit about Sophie and what she does and what she's all about. I hope that that information was good for you guys. So Shaman wants to know, is she from France? Yes, she's from France. That's where she started her studies, was in France, and she finished in Mexico. So yeah, she is from France. She speaks fluent French and she speaks fluent Spanish. I communicate with her online, so I haven't talked to her personally, so I don't know how well she speaks English. But it seems like probably French and Spanish are her two of stronger languages. But yeah, and she's got when you talk to her, she's got a really cute French accent when you do hear her speak. So, sorry, a little bit off topic, but you got your guys. It's awesome. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, it is. It is amazing stuff. I keep telling people that, and I'm glad you like it. But let's try to keep this on Calle 23. Now, if you guys want, I'll pull the Criollo out and do the Criollo again, but only if you guys comment and say that you want me to. Otherwise, you guys can look at the review. It's been a while since I did that review originally, but if you guys want me to, I can pull that out and do a review on the Calle 23 Criollo. I have a few bottles of that, so. She must have a very good, yeah, I'm sure she has a great palate and good. I think you'll like the añejo. I think you'll like it, Shaman. It's knowing you and what you've bought and what your feedback has been on things. I think you're going to enjoy the añejo. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to spend some time with it with a cigar when I get done with here out in the back. So, it's good. All right, so do it. So grab the Criollo. Yep, you guys wanted me to grab the Criollo. Okay. All right, so I'll grab. Hold on a second. I'll grab the Criollo. Oh. There you go. Sometimes I think you guys are just all about how much you can get me to drink. Yes, Criollo. Okay, all right. All right, here we go. This is a brand new bottle. Oops. When I was told that we got the last of it and they're not going to be doing it's not made anymore, and that, you know, it's going to be gone, and we're at the tail end of it, I stocked up, so I'll probably get some more too before it's all sold out. So let's pull out a new clean Denver and Liley glass. My last clean one. So this one is made with those special. Oh, you haven't pulled the trigger on the Criollo yet? Oh, okay. Well, this one's a special one. It's got a really really big place in my heart. So it's made with those tiny, really sticky, extra sweet, sugary agave, called the Criollo, the small ones. They normally include them with, like, when they sell the agave, include them with the agave. But they normally don't like them because, you know, they don't get as much money for them. They'd rather give them the bigger agave and make more money off the heavier agave. So this is the Criollo. This is the high proof, 49.3%, so 98.6% alcohol. So looking at it in the glass, it coats the glass beautifully. You can see the legs and tears forming on it. There you go. Look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful? Crystal clear, glimpse of silver shining through on it. Looks beautiful. On the nose on this. Hey, thank you for the super chat, JK135. Thank you so much. And he says on his note, he says, hey, Mark, any idea how the stock of Criollo is? It's so good. I want to get more, but I'm on a budget and also want to grab some Cascanas and Vago. We're actually okay. We've got a lot of cases of it right now, so it's going to last for a little while. But the sooner that people buy it up, the sooner it's going to be gone. And it's good. I wouldn't wait too long, but it probably will last until January, I would guess, easily. So if you're on a budget, you can pick some up. But the Cascanas and the Vago are great too. All right, so the nose on this, I already showed you the glass. So the nose on this is oh jeez. So this is very complex. I get baking spices and the sweet cinnamon, a little bit of salinity like olive brine coming through, and then a really nice tropical fruit like bananas and pineapple on it as well. Hints of vanilla coming through on it. And it has a nice grassiness to it as well. It smells really good. It's all right. On the flavor profile, deep, rich, sweet cinnamon, cooked agave with the nutmeg and cloves in the front. A hint of saltiness, brininess, like olive brine in there definitely is there. Some pineapple, hint of banana. And then it finishes with kind of a bell pepper-ish kind of slightly vegetalness to it. And then it's sweet, like a really rich, sweet cinnamon-esque vanilla on the tongue, on the very end of the finish. So it's got everything in there. It's got fruitiness. It's got beautiful sweet cinnamon. And it's got baking spices. It's got like almost vanilla caramelish on it as well. And this is not, there's no additives or anything in this. This is unadulterated. This is just pure, really sweet Criollo agave goodness. And it's fantastic stuff. It's a little higher in alcohol, so there's a little bit of a burn on it, but it's nothing. It's not like it's gonna set anybody off or anything. That's an amazing. This was my number one, and when the G4 108 came out, it dropped to number 2, and it was number 2 for a while. And it's still my number 2 Altos Highlands agave tequila. So yeah, the Criollo versus the G4 108. The 108 was my number 1 over the Criollo, but Criollo was a solid, really tight number 2. Hey Abel, welcome. Salute. Glad you could make it. Glad you could make it for the review. All right, any additional questions, you guys? Anything else you want to know about this tequila? It's really good. I recommend picking up some of the Calle 23. Anything from the line is solid. It's fairly decently priced at the prices that they're selling it for now. It's a good price. I would definitely pick it up, and it could be your everyday sipper easily at those prices and at this quality. I would recommend it as an everyday sipper. So there you go. That's it. Any other questions before we just call it a review, and we'll see you guys on Friday for the next one. Nope, no more questions. All right, guys. Is Criollo? Yes, Criollo is Weber Blue. Yeah, it is Weber Blue. It's just a tiny, smaller Weber Blue agave. They nickname it Criollo, but it's just instead of being massive like a lot of them grow in the fields, it grows small, but it hits complete ripeness and is super full of sugars and is super complex when it's fermented. Well, thank you, Q Coletti. I appreciate that. It is blue agave. It's Weber Blue Agave, but it's just a small blue agave that they call Criollo. It's Weber Blue. It is, but it's just a smaller. It matures at a smaller size, but it's Weber Blue. It's It is Weber Blue. Hey, you're welcome, E-Fits. All right, you guys. I'm going to finish up the Criollo here. And like I always say, life is too short to drink bad tequila. So if you want good tequila, keep watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, you guys, if you like the information I share with you. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And if you want to participate in the comments, and geez, this guy wants me to drink everything, compare everything to the Criollo. He just wants to see me get hammered, I think. Richard does. So he says, so are there many kinds of Weber? No, it's all blue agave, but it's just a smaller, it's ones that just grow small. They call them Criollo. So it's like, there's people, we're all human beings, but there's some human beings that are smaller people and other ones that are taller people. And so they just gave a nickname to the smaller ones that are rich in sugars and stuff that hit full maturity, but don't quite grow to the size of normal, regular Weber Blue agave. Does that make sense? It's just kind of a nickname for them. When you talk to agave farmers, you go, oh, you get Criollo? They look at you like, what? What's a Criollo? It's just Weber Blue agave. But they nicknamed them. There's a nickname for them that's called Criollo. So, and it's just the tiny ones in the fields. And when you tell them, oh, it's the tiny one. Oh yeah, we get those tiny ones. We normally throw them away or whatever. But that's what they call Criollo. Is just the tiny ones that that grow in the fields that don't get as big as the other bigger Weber Blue agave get. And I'm sure the bigger Weber Blue agave pick on them and bully them somewhat and push them around and steal their lunch money, but that's just the way it goes for the runts of the litter. So that's basically the runts of the Weber Blue agave. Does that make sense? All right. Don't forget to give me a like for the information I shared with you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to join so you can comment and be a participant in the comments, and when we do the live reviews as well as the members only Q&As, click the join button. And if you don't see the join button because you're using an Apple app, then an iOS app, then look in the description. I put a link in there where you can join and become a member of the community. I give you a bunch of behind the scenes information. I'm going to post some information that Sophie sent me for the members so you guys can look it over and enjoy it. And until next time, what is the tag on the bottle say? Abel wants to know. It says, this tequila you have in your hands is unique. Its creation is inspired by the magical moments of life. So that is to honor her son. She was pregnant with her son when she did this. So can you see it? Let me see if we can get it to focus. Focus. There you go. And then on the back it says, I was expecting my first child. And she goes over like just how she was expecting her child with this. So this was to honor her son, her first child's birth. Come on, focus. Focus. Let's see if we can get it to focus. There you go. A little bit. So it just tells the story of why the yeah, typically they're packed with more sugars. It's more sugars in a smaller, so it's like you can have a big one that's got a lot of sugars and stuff, but just imagine taking all the sugars in the big one and packing it in a small one. So it's more sugars per kilo than the bigger one, so it has a higher bricks count. Does that make sense? It still has the same amount of total complete sugars, but it's in a smaller package, so it's sweeter per the weight than the bigger ones. So don't overthink the Criollo thing, guys. It's just a smaller agave that they use that's super rich in sugars and starches, and that they nicknamed him Criollo. All right. There we go. All right, until next time, you guys, like I always say, life is too short to drink bad tequila, so pick up some Calle 23 and you'll be doing just fine. And we'll see you guys on Friday for another review, and I'll post the information on what review we're doing tomorrow on the community tab. So those of you that watch the community tab, you'll know. And have a great evening and have a great Thursday, and we'll see you guys on Friday. Salute.